Good Saturday afternoon, everybody. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich at News Channel 36. I want to give you an update on what's going on with the winter weather and the rain heading our way coming up in the next 24 hours. Pretty complex system right now. This is the current surface map. You can see the temperatures right now across the area. We'll turn those off temporarily. You can see there's two parts to the system, actually. There's a little upper level system back here in Texas, and there's a surface system trying to crank up over the lower Mississippi River Valley. This is what's prompting the severe weather today. As we take a look at the vorticity, the 500 millibar vorticity, you can see there's a piece of energy diving down through the middle of the country here near Omaha, Nebraska, and you've got this upper level energy. We talk a lot about this, about these two systems. This is the northern branch of the jet stream, and this is the southern branch of the jet stream. In fact, let me show you what that looks like. You'll see in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, here's our 500 millibar heights. There's that little dip there and a little dip there. If these two little dips come together, they form a big dip, which essentially means they will phase, the word we use quite a bit, and form a bigger storm. Now, we're not so much worried about this right here, which you see over southern Louisiana. That's actually the rainmaker. The snowmaker is that disturbance up here in Omaha and this upper low. Wherever that tracks, that's where we're going to see the snow. So let's go in and kind of show you how this unfolds hour by hour on the model data. The best model right now that I feel is the NAM4, which is basically the NAM model at 4 kilometer resolution, excuse me. So the first thing I'm going to put on is reflectivity here. The other thing I'm going to put on here is the 850 millibar zero line, basically the rain snow line. You see that blue line up there? Let me turn some of these off. This is the rain, and this, anywhere you see that blue line, that is likely going to be snow. So let's go out into the future. We'll go hour by hour. We'll go out to 7 p.m. tonight. And it'll take a second to upload, but this is 7 p.m. tonight. You can see this is all rain heading towards the Carolinas. We'll get closer here as the system approaches. We'll go into about 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. We still have all rain heading even into the mountains. We'll go into roughly about 1 a.m. All rain heading up here. Snow starts to break out. Anywhere you see the blue line in north, that's going to be snow in northern Arkansas. A wet, heavy snow. Let's go out towards tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We'll get in real close so you can see what's going on. This is all rain. Notice the 850 line, the rain-snow line is well to the north. Let's go out into the afternoon hours. We start creeping into the afternoon. Notice that rain-snow line starts to creep into Boone and Jefferson, and even the western part of Wilkes and maybe even Caldwell County. I'm going to widen out a little bit here and show you how this unfolds going into the afternoon hours. We start getting into the afternoon, the rain starts changing to snow in all the mountains. See this dip? That is all snow right there. We'll go out even further into the evening hours. Now we're getting to about 6 o'clock in the evening, and there's still tons of moisture. And now look at this. We're starting to see that rain-snow line creep awfully close to Charlotte. The heaviest stuff's up in here. And then we'll go to 7 p.m. Sunday night. And you can see the rain-snow line has made it almost all the way to Charlotte. So how much snow is that? Well, let's look at what the model thinks is the snowfall depth. This is just through 7 p.m. Sunday. You can see the rain-snow line brings light snow down here, but look how elevation dependent this snow is going to be. This is Grandfather Mountain, that big white mark. I got my cursor on that. That is 14.2 inches. Over towards Boone, this is about 3 inches, but in the mountains between Blowing Rock and Boone, you're talking about maybe 9 to 10 inches. You can pretty much pick out where the Blue Ridge is, right here. And the eastern-facing slopes may end up with more initially because the winds are going to be coming in from the southeast and upsloping into these areas that typically would get heavy rain. Notice South Mountain State Park comes out, even the mountains up here in the Yadkin Valley, and then even there's Pilot Mountain. You can see elevation is going to be really key to who sees what. And then as you go out further into the future, we'll go out past this time frame and show you what the NAM has for snow. Well, I'm just getting the latest model run, so I'm going to have to go back one. You can see overall where the snow comes down almost all the way to Charlotte. So there will be maybe a ½ an inch to a dusting all the way out towards central North Carolina. So right now, I'm basically going to go with about a ½ an inch in Charlotte, dusting north, So I'm going to go with that 1/2 inch right around Charlotte. And then once you get up to Interstate 40, right in here, 1 to 2 inches on grassy surfaces. Then in the mountains, again, this is some of the snow's melted. I'm more leaning towards somewhere in between these two model solutions, basically right in there. So that kind of gives you a rough idea. Now, the big problem here is this will accumulate in the mountains. Down here, it's going to be tough to get this accumulating because we're going to have 8 to 10 hours of rain, and warm rain at that, temperatures in the 40s before it changes over. So a lot of this snow that falls is going to melt on contact. The real concern is going to be once we get into the overnight hours on Sunday night into Monday morning. And here's what I'm concerned about. Let me show you the temperatures. We'll go into Monday morning, and I'll show you what the temperatures will be like when you wake up Monday morning. It's going to be cold enough that a lot of this stuff is going to freeze up. So you see these temperatures in and around Charlotte, we're right around the freezing mark, but all in here, everything's going to ice up. So this could be a lot of black ice coming up on Monday morning. Let's take a couple of things that I look at quite a bit. This is going to look really complicated, but I'll try to explain it to you because this is a very good way to look at how things develop. We're going to look at the NAM model again for Charlotte. And as you look at this right here, this shows Sunday all rain, but then you get into Sunday evening between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. Monday. There's sleet and snow, and if you pile that up, that's about 0.2 of an inch. That's on the NAM model. If I switch over to the GFS model and look at the same thing, you can see it wants to spit out some freezing rain and snow, but it also puts out more snow, about 1.2 inches, which seems like a lot. Now let's look at the Boone area for snowfall. When you look at the Boone area, a lot more snow. It starts to change over at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. And if I had to look at this, I think a lot of this is going to be snow, not freezing rain. The freezing rain looks a little bogus because it looks like it's plenty cold enough once the heavy stuff picks up. So for Boone, you're looking at about 4.9 inches of snow if you don't have compaction or melting. If it's a wet, heavy snow, we'll put the snowfall ratio 10 to 1. You're probably talking 3 to 4 inches. And that's in Boone. That's down in the valley. So it's likely in the higher elevations of Boone, you're going to end up with a lot more snow in and around the mountainous area. So elevation is going to be really key to this thing. And as you can see, I mean, when you turn on the model, that's a look at the model snowfall. And if you look at the elevation underneath it, that's Grandfather Mountain. You can pick out the mountains here. As you head up in the Wilkes County even, you can see some of those mountains showing up. So that gives you a rough idea on what to expect. I really don't think the snow will be a big deal on the roads initially. It may cause some power outages because this will be a wet, heavy snow, so some branches could come down. The real concern, again, is going to be Monday morning. Once the snow moves out, you're talking about cold air coming in on the backside, which will likely drop the temperature below freezing and ice everything up. Of course, once we get those winter storm warnings upgraded, which right now you can see the winter storm watch for these counties, this will be upgraded to a warning any minute now. My phone just went off in the background. That may actually be the warning coming out. This will be a winter storm warning, and don't be surprised if further south and east you end up seeing a winter weather advisories issue for the Piedmont. Of course, I'll keep things up to date on Facebook, Twitter, WCNC.com. Megan and John will have you covered on the air, and if it gets pretty bad, I will be in on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon into the evening to kind of cover this event. Otherwise, just get ready now for a rough commute Monday morning, but during the day, Sunday, really no worries.